So let's talk about the elephant in the room. ChatGPT, AI, LLMs, whatever you want to call them, are a thing that exists. In case you didn't know, it's quite easy to copy and paste an assignment into ChatGPT and ask for the answer and get the answer. But you will learn nothing, and you will. The problem is it's sort of a bad path to go down, right? Let's say we get a few assignments in. The first few assignments are real easy, okay? Everything builds on everything else, though. So we're putting like layers down of something. It's like building a house, right? You build the foundation, then you build the frame, and everything sort of depends on the previous thing. So if you get a few assignments in, maybe assignment 4, let's say, you say, wow, this is starting to get a little tricky. I'm just going to use ChatGPT this time. So use ChatGPT, comes up with an answer. For whatever reason, I don't catch that it's not your work. And then you get to assignment 5. Assignment 5 is going to say, refer back to assignment 4, what you learned. But guess what? You didn't learn it. So now what? Now you use ChatGPT for assignment 5 because you didn't understand assignment 4, therefore you can't understand assignment 5. You see where I'm going here? It's kind of a slippery slope, and it's kind of unfortunate because eventually you pass this class and you might be like, you put on your resume, yeah, I took Python in the spring of 26. So you get a job and they're like, hey, we need you to do this little bit of Python coding, right? And all of a sudden you're like, oh, I don't really know Python coding. All I know is ChatGPT coding. And it's sort of like if I took you over to Meadows Field and I put you in the passenger or in the pilot seat of a big airline, right? Like a DC-10 or whatever. Okay, you've all seen it in the movies. You kind of know what a cockpit looks like, right? You know that if you pull back on the thing, it makes it go up, and you push the thing forward, and it makes it go faster. You might be able to take that plane and taxi down the runway. You might be able to like get it up in the air, but at some point you're going to be like, "Oh crap! I'm in a huge airplane. I don't know how to fly, and I don't know how to land." And there's no real path for backing down off of this. So what I want you to do is just learn the stuff. And learning, unfortunately, is like working out, right? If I tell you I went to the gym 8 times a week, it doesn't mean I have muscles. Muscles only happen if I go to the gym and actually lift up the weights, right? Which I clearly do not. So doing the work, exercising, is sort of the path to is sort of like learning. It's a metaphor for that because you actually have to do these exercises, which can be kind of unpleasant sometimes, just like working out. But some people like working out. Some people like that rush of adrenaline or endorphins or whatever. And some people like me actually like the struggle of trying to figure out a programming problem. Maybe you will too. You will hear me use the word vibe coding. Anybody familiar with this term in here? Vibe coding? Okay, a few of you have heard of vibe coding. Vibe coding is using AI to write code for you. Vibe coding is a big deal right now in the software engineering world because what are they telling us about AI right now? It's coming for your jobs, right? If you're a software engineer, it's going to replace you. Um, I'm not worried about it. Let me just tell you. I think AI can be a great tool. Just like a 747 is really great for flying across the country if you know how to fly a 747. First learn to fly the plane, then use the tool, right? So vibe coding. These two guys, you know Bill Gates, probably, right? The founder of Microsoft. Anybody know who Linus Torvalds is? I didn't think so. He invented a little thing called Linux. He's a god in the nerd world. Okay, so these two guys are having a conversation online, and Bill Gates says, "What does vibe and vibe coding stand for?" And Linus responds back, "Very inefficient but entertaining," because vibe coding is notorious for being really great at first and then getting terrible really fast. Okay, so here's another cartoon on vibe coding. It says, understanding how things actually works, 1/4 mile. And then this is telling please fix to cursor again. So basically telling your AI agent to fix your code is 21 miles, and he's happily crawling toward that. The problem is that we think vibe coding seems easy, but past a certain point, and believe me, I've tried. I know how to fly the 747, and I've tried building applications using strictly vibe coding. Starts out great. You're thinking, this is amazing. It's writing all the code for me. And it looks great. It works. And then you tell it to do one little change. Everything goes to pieces. Vibe coding is really, really tough. So we have vibe coding and vibe debugging. Debugging is the process of figuring out what's wrong with your code. So you kind of get the idea. Not so fun. And then we have the Chat GPT, which is always telling us how great we are. Anybody use Chat GPT and get tired of being told what a great question. So it says, but why did you delete the production database? And Chat GPT says, you're absolutely right. And that's sort of the experience of vibe coding, anything that's more than just a basic programming. So the moral here is you can use vibe coding to get through the basics of this class. At some point, you're going to hit a place where you neither know what you're doing nor do you know how to fix it. And that's going to be a problem. And you won't have learned anything. So what I suggest is hold off, do the work, get in the gym, lift those weights a few times, actually learn some things. Later in the class, I'm actually going to walk you through some instructional pieces, some modules where we will use vibe coding in limited capacities to help us speed to the end of a arduous process. So I'm going to show you how to use AI in the context of knowing what you're doing. But first, we have to learn to walk before we can learn to run. You will notice in Canvas a link to Python TA. This is an AI bot that I created special for this class. It will answer questions about the class. It knows about all the assignments. It knows the textbook. And it knows how to debug code. What it will not do is write code for you or give you answers. So if you say, I'm having trouble with this code, and you copy and paste your Python code into Python TA, it will look at your code and then it will ask you, so what do you think is the problem on line 5? Or how could you change this to get to the answer you're looking for? So it will help you sort of as if I was standing over your shoulder asking you the same questions. Because I don't want to give you the answers either. I want you to lift the weights. I don't want to lift them for you. But Python TA is there. So if you're doing your homework in the middle of the night and you have a coding question, Python TA can answer it. If you have a question about an assignment or a due date or some aspect of the book, Python TA can answer it. But it won't give you answers. So if you want to integrate some AI use or get some extra help, that's the way to do it.